for entertaining me.
Oh, you're welcome. Max, I think your position on relationship dynamics is fundamentally wrong. Do you think you'd be capable of having a disagreement about this without a screaming match between each other? I don't know, Billy. It probably depends on what you say. It's a pretty loaded topic for me. I feel very embattled. I miss Mike. You know, it's Mike's an interesting guy. There's a certain kind of guy that always gets this response. I think Buck Angel got the same response where people are like, "Man, what a cool dude." You know, you could that's the kind of guy you could have a beer with. No one has ever said that about me. I think part of me is a little jealous. No one ever has seen me on a live stream anywhere and been like, "Wow, that's a guy you could have a beer with. What a cool dude." Wow. Solar Birth says, "You think ideas are isolated only to the mind. A perspective many new studies gives LSD to otherwise, psilocybin LSD to otherwise healthy individuals. Thoughts? Psychedelics will become the cornerstone of the next 100 years of psychology." Maps John Hopkins. Thank you for the $20. I don't know. I hear people say things like this, and I think, oh, you're just part of the psychedelic cult. You're just, you see everything through this lens, and everything you think is going to turn into it. You're like, it's like a crypto bro, but psychedelics instead. And but I don't know. Maybe you're right. I have no idea. It doesn't. I don't know. I disagree with you. I don't want it to be true either. I don't want everybody to take psychedelics. Hello?
Hey Max, how are you?
Hey, I'm all right. How are
Thanks
you?
for having me here. I appreciate it. I'm calling from Australia. I
Oh,
got a few topics that I wanted to talk about, and one of them was actually kind of related to psychedelics.
okay.
So maybe I'll segue into that first. Um, I think your conversation with Glink was really interesting to me, um, because I agree with that person who just sort of commented that psychedelics are quickly becoming quite a mainstream facet of psychiatry.
Yeah,
And I don't think that Glink represented that well at all. I think he was coming from that from a point of like that kind of crypto bro enthusiasm, which I
sure.
think you and Destiny both realized pretty early on that like, you're talking to kind of a young person still swimming in their own opinions about it and not really like having a somewhere firm to stand on. I guess like I have a criticism of that conversation. I think I've watched quite a lot of your content. I am a really big fan. That one to me was the closest you have come to being Crowder,
Yeah.
which is kind of like sitting opposite someone who really hasn't formed their thoughts very well, quite young, doesn't really understand what they're doing, and you and Steve therefore kind of like being able to piggyback off of that and seem very informed yourselves.
Okay.
Um, and the danger of that being that psychedelics is probably a topic that warrants a lot more. Because for you, you were piggybacking on that to kind of shame psychedelics more broadly, not just and to make a kind of almost case against them.
I
Whereas
think
he's not a representative for that,
I think I'm
you know?
shaming religion more than psychedelics. I don't think we argued that much about psychedelics. I think my main contention with Glink, and I agree with you that I was more like Crowder than I would like to be in that conversation. But I think the thing that sets me off is the semi-religious, semi-Christian, but not acknowledging that it's Christian. Um, I felt like he was very evasive about that, and that drives me out of my fucking mind. Um,
Yeah,
the psychedelic stuff, I don't have as strong feelings about. I have super strong feelings about people saying, "I am, I am not an animal. Humans are a special, superior being with souls." Kind of the same thing happened with perspective philosophy. I think that um, I think when I feel like we're arguing about religion, but we're pretending about it's about something else, that makes me really fucking mad. And I also
yeah,
think that I think I also just lost patience because that was the third time I've had that conversation with Clink, and the first two were like 2 hours, and then like 7 hours, or some outrageously long time, maybe like 5 hours, and then to have just the same exact, and then we had a private call that was like an hour, and then the same conversation again, and it just drives me insane. And
Yeah,
I
I
agree. I
can
did
kind of
not.
understand that. I think
But I don't
like
think I handled it well. I agree with you that I was like Crowder, and I shouldn't have been.
there was just a definite like sense for me that you were talking at very different levels and that you and Destiny were kind of far above Glink in his understanding of what was happening in the conversation, and then just kind of spending hours dancing around him in that sense. Whereas I think you hit the nail on the head where you're not really talking about psychedelics. That's not where the argument is like the feasibility of psychedelics in something like psychiatry or
No, it's
psychotherapy.
about religion.
You're talking about, yeah, exactly. He's trying to convert you to his worldview. And
Yeah,
like,
and I'm very resentful about being converted too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. Um, Can I talk about Dr. K really briefly with you? Um, I
Yeah.
really agree with your take on Dr. K and find
Okay.
him really infuriating.
Okay.
Um,
But
yeah, the but is,
but
um, I guess like I was curious about your perspective on this because
are you priming me to not
yeah, I
yell at
am.
you?
Yeah,
You
pretty
brought up
much.
the Glink thing to
Yeah.
prime me to take this well. Is that true?
No, no, it was a legitimate segue. I didn't anticipate the person posting about psychedelics right before I called. That was going to be my second topic, but I just jumped in there.
Oh,
I think the
because you're
Dr.
telling
K
me I'm like
stuff
Steven
is tricky.
Crowder, and then and now you're going into a red zone, and you're saying I have to not turn into Steven Crowder, as you are about to say the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard anybody say in my life.
No, no, no.
Okay.
I think you'll be not
Hey,
so unpleasantly surprised with the Dr. K stuff. I want to introduce like I guess a tiny bit of um perspective on what I think is going on with him and Erudite.
okay.
Because I agree with you that Erudite is not being honest with you in your conversations about Dr. K because of the implications that it has for her. So when you and Erudite are talking about Dr. K and she's running defense for him, she's running defense for her own career as a pseudo, registered psych person
Yep.
doing edgy borderline shit in her own channel, right? So like
Yep.
she's clearly defending her own career,
Yes.
and that's infuriating that that never comes out as well. That's similar to like with Glink, the subtext is not actually brought out very strongly in the conversations about Dr. K with her. But so the tricky thing is that I think you are absolutely right that professionals registered should not be doing any of that shit.
Stop fucking buttering me up and just fucking say it.
Yeah, but they're in over their head. Like they have signed onto a profession as young people, right?
Dr.
And
K?
yes, so
Dr. K is
he's signed.
40.
But how long has he been doing his training? So like early on, you kind of
I think
get
4 years
involved.
or
You
five,
get
5 or
involved in
6
an
years.
ethic. You have to agree to all this ethical stuff, right? Which does not explicitly ever come out and say, here's how you need to handle yourself on the internet. And like you were
That's not
talking
the
just,
those are not the ethics rules that he's breaking.
no, I understand that, but like I think the
So
tricky
my
thing is
problem
he
with Dr.
clearly wants
K,
to be a celebrity. He wants to be a celebrity,
my
right?
problem with Dr. K has nothing to do with the fact that he is streaming this. That's just how I know that he's breaking the ethics rules. That's not the rule he's breaking. And
Okay.
people always run interference for him by saying, well, it's a totally new blah, blah, blah. No, the rules are very clear and he's breaking them. And we just know
Oh,
he's breaking
can
them
I
because he's
clarify?
streaming.
Can I clarify?
Yeah.
So I agree. If it was behind closed doors, it would still be against the rules, what he did. I agree.
Okay. Okay.
With him and Erudite, I think they're also breaking the rules by streaming
Okay.
even more innocuous shit that's
Yes.
got like,
I
do
agree.
you know what
I
I mean?
agree.
So
I agree
it's
with
like
that.
the entire
Yes.
career is also a breaking the rules thing. So when I like look
Yes.
to someone like
Yes.
Erudite, I see someone who has like gone down this training wanting to help people and then has kind of realized years down the track, well, fuck, this internet stuff's really cool. Now I'm not allowed to do any of it. And
Okay.
there's this kind of like trying to work out where they want to be in the world now that this internet stuff's blowing up, and they've kind of
I
unwittingly
don't
signed
know.
on. You
Fuck
know what I mean?
them. No, not really. There's so many therapists who have YouTube channels.
Yeah, but
There's tons of
I don't.
psychologists with YouTube channels. You can have a you can be a psychologist, you can do your lessons, you can teach your shit. You just don't have to do therapy on stream with people. It's fucking it's weird. It's just like creepy and weird. Like there's no
Can I tell
reason
you
to
what the
do that.
disconnect is? Can I tell you what the disconnect is though? You go back to talk about, oh, there are ways to do this and point to these YouTube channels and like people, psychologists who have discussions on Twitter with other psychologists and people on Facebook groups all chatting about the profession. It's all against the rules. It's all bad as far as like the ethics boards are concerned. Like they're
It's
all
not, yeah, but
vulnerable to
it
having
ain't
people.
as okay. Yes, it's all against the rules, but it ain't against the rules like having doing therapy with somebody who's not your client or patient on a live stream.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I guess like so to
You
me,
can't
one of
really
the
be a good therapist and be a celebrity at the same time.
that's my point. That's my point.
but
That's my
that's
point,
not
right?
specific to live streaming. That's just true in general. Like you just
Yeah,
that I think that's always been true. That's part of why I didn't go to grad school.
exactly. And I
Because at
think
some
like I
point
look
I
at
was like,
people
I want to expose myself mentally and physically to the world, and I just don't see how I'm gonna fucking like. That's why part of why being a personal trainer was nice for me because it was like, it's kind of like being a therapist. You get to work with people one on one, but then like when your clients see like videos or pictures of you naked, it's not breaking the rules, and you can be like, yeah, you know,
Mhm.
it's kind of weird.
And I reckon like so you can imagine there's like this sliding doors kind of decision point in people's lives where they're like closed door. I'm gonna be registered. I'm gonna do deep, meaningful change with like a few individuals, or I'm gonna go the route of like art and share myself online and make broad, sweeping influences across the world, right? And Dr. K
Yeah.
and Erudite are trying to have both.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And like, and you clearly chose one or the other. But and it's funny because people notice this and they criticize you for it as well. They go like, "Oh, you just wanted to do the other one." They recognize that you like had to make that choice, and they play this
Okay.
they
But
they play this existential guilt against you. Go, "Oh, you're a failed
yes.
psychologist," or "You actually wanted to do
Yes.
this other thing, but you ended up
Yeah.
doing
But
this thing." You
the
know?
thing when you say you have to make a choice, the wedge there, the the wedge is made out of the well-being of the patient. And so
Yeah,
that's why you have to choose because if you don't, you're plowing through the mental health of people who
yeah,
just wanted help. And when one of those people is fucking dead very publicly, then it just yeah, I it just seems completely insane to then try to re-abstract it and say and be like, well, why do you have to choose, or you're just jealous, and it's like that. None of that really matters.
I think it matters for people's like opinion about what how it's playing out. And I agree with you, like you're 100% right. I'm not like making an argument for why you're wrong. I'm just like giving you feedback about my perspective about
This makes me
why
so
people are
angry.
reacting.
It makes me so angry that even if you're 100% in agreement with me, I'm going to yell at you just for talking about it.
That's fine, but
Okay.
like I guess the point I'm making is like when you are pushing back against Dr. K and when Erudite runs defense for him and then you push back against her too, and then all these people react to you going like you're being so full on, you're being so harsh about this. I think part this is going to sound really weird, Max, but I think part of what's going on is like people's existential guilt about the fact that they choose one thing and then they can't do everything else. And there's this kind of like um lie that we're all being sold that we can be internet famous alongside anything else we want to do in the world. And that's a door that's open to all of us. And what's, I think, painful for Dr. K, Erudite, and a lot of other people in the audience listening is like this idea that no, you chose to do this thing, chose to become registered and do this thing. You now can't do a lot of other stuff. You're not allowed to.
Yeah.
And those doors are just closed to you. And I think people find that really
And they're like, oh,
upsetting. They want to
so
be free. They want to be
when
free.
Erudite's like, oh, so I can't have close friends. I can't talk about my friends' feelings with them now.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. She wants there to be so much wriggle room because it's uncomfortable, that idea of closing a door in your life and going, well, because I've done this one thing, another door closes. And that's how it goes. which is the decision you made when you're like, because I want to be an artist, this other door closes. Like it's just that's the way it is. But people fucking hate that existential guilt shit where it's like you choose one path and that means you lose others, and that's really painful for people, you know.
I
And
think
you're like advocating for it.
I think another part that's painful is that when I say it's unethical to do therapy on a live stream, I'm saying that Recful needed to be protected from you.
Yeah,
And I don't think people want to see themselves as the thing that would ruin therapy or that would ruin somebody trying to climb out of a hole of mental
yeah,
illness.
yeah.
Um,
I agree, and I think that's why you had a lot of pushback about zooming in on the chat about those few people who were calling it out
yeah.
because by highlighting that, you show that actually the audience had a responsibility too, and only a handful of people took it on.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm not highlighting those messages. I'm highlighting them because they're the only ones that aren't the hearts. An
Yeah,
avalanche of hearts piling on, not intentionally, but that those purple hearts enabling Dr. K to psychologically dismantle somebody in this incredibly irresponsible, malpracticing, manslaughtering way.
yeah, I agree. Can I bring up one more topic? Is it all right to have a little bit more time with you?
Short.
Okay, so this streamer drama shit. Um,
Oh God.
you helped Destiny with Anna at one point,
Yeah.
and one of Destiny's big critiques about Anna is that people who tried to intervene would make out as if they were just having communication difficulties, and that equivocated their realities when, from his perspective, her reality was batshit crazy and his wasn't. Right? Like in his mind, she just was not seeing reality, and then when people came in and kind of equivocated, it was like intolerable to him.
Yes.
Anyway, that's what he's doing with you and Britt. He comes in as a moderator, and he's done this quite a few times with different people too. He acts like what's going
Women.
on is just, yeah, well, maybe, yeah, maybe. Like I don't know
Women.
about that. I don't know about that because I haven't seen him moderate. He did it with Glink too, to be fair. So like I
No,
think
he ended up doing it to Glink, you mean, with me?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
I think like, you know, there's this temptation for a moderating role to be like, oh, there's just a communication difficulty here, and they're not allowed to decide, which is fine. But it bleeds outside of those individual conversations where Destiny will like he'll talk about you in a way that's kind of like, oh, Max has his own really unique and weird communication style, and
Yes.
he reduces it all down to like something about the way you're talking is like confusing or weird, but it's not. It's like it's very clear, it's very straightforward. These are disagreements about reality and morals and ethics. Like with Brit, I think is the biggest example of this,
Okay.
where your complaints about her are like very very specific
Straightforward.
and clear and straightforward, but it gets turned into this kind of thing of like, oh, Max has his own weird, you know, quirky way of talking. That's probably all that's going on here, you
Right,
know,
right.
and
Yeah. The premise when he comes in to moderate, he's like, you guys need a translator.
yeah,
And like Brittany Simon, when I say I think you're running a sex cult and explain exactly what I mean by that, she knows she fucking understands what I'm saying. She just doesn't like it.
yeah, and he does this outside of moderating contexts as well, where he like comments on the way you are with people as though the way you communicate is like confusing and weird, but it's not. It's like it's so straightforward. Like you're probably the most like down the line person in the way that you talk to people on
Okay,
this
but do you
platform,
agree
you
that
know?
his chat seems to resonate with his community when he says that about me? So do you have any
I
explanation
think
for
it's a
that?
cop out. I just think it's a cop out. It's the same with Anna and Destiny. People like got drowned in that encounter. People were just drowning and flailing, like not having any clue how to handle it. And so the way that they handle it is just kind of go, communication styles don't match. So people they talk in a weird way and they don't talk. It's this escape into a meta communication as opposed to people not knowing how to handle the actual conflict.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to let you've become way more. I wrote that down a few weeks ago when I planned on joining, and you seem to become way more aware of how much Destiny kind of like plants seeds against you in a really seemingly benign way.
He's very
Um,
good at it.
yeah, he
Um,
is.
I don't think he knows he's doing that.
I agree. I think he is more conflict avoidant than he thinks he is, and that's what's going on there. Like he sees himself as someone who will just tackle people head on and be really unafraid of an argument or a fight. But because he's actually scared of certain types of conflict, he like does that to avoid them. Oh, it's just people talk weird. People are a bit different communication styles. It's a cop out. One last thing before I go. Um, have you ever read Chuck Palahniuk's books?
No,
He did Fight Club.
I know.
Um, his books are fucking awesome, and I can't stand Joe Rogan, but he was on Joe Rogan once, and it's a really good listen. I reckon you'd really like it. His goals as an author seem really in line with your goals as an artist as well. Like telling really confronting, really weird and personal stories, so that people have more understanding of each other and are free to express themselves a lot more. And I just reckon you'd really dig him. He's really
Okay.
cool. Yeah, just a recommendation. Thanks for having me on, Max. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Cool. I'll keep checking out your stuff. I love your art. It's awesome.
Thanks. Thanks for handling the end of the conversation normalities.
So I
You
ran out
just,
of stuff to say, and I
well,
know
yeah, I don't have anything to
there's
say, so you're just gonna do it. Wait, what? Not normalities. What is the word I'm looking for?
I know niceties
Formalities.
maybe. Yeah, I could just hang
Formalities.
up, but I like you too much to just hang up on you.
Yeah. Thanks for landing the plane.
Thanks,
I'm
Max.
still
So
thinking
yeah,
about Destiny.
yeah, fair enough. It's a can of worms, man. It's a big can of worms.
It is. It's so
Mm.
complicated.
It is really
He
complicated,
went on stream. Did you see? He did a review of my review of the session with Reckful and Dr. K, and
yeah, I did. I hated that.
he said that he doesn't believe that anyone has an unconscious.
Yeah, I think he is.
Oh no, he said that in response to my Reddit post. But yeah,
I
he
think
doesn't believe
he
anybody has
is.
an unconscious.
He does though. He does. Like it's just a lie.
You think he's
People get real
lying?
weird. I think he's lying to himself. I think it's an inconsistency. I
He
think people like to say
unconsciously,
that.
Stephen. I think you unconsciously believe that we do have an unconscious.
I agree. People attach so much baggage to that concept of the unconscious, but like the
Yeah.
idea that there aren't processes going on in our bodies and minds that we're not aware of is just insane. To reject that is just totally insane. We know it for a fact. I don't see how anybody could in their right mind. And given what I know Destiny knows about psychology and psychological experiments and all these things, I don't know how anybody could say, oh, we don't have an unconscious. Like, we obviously do have a lot going on that we're not always paying attention to, that's influencing our behaviors. That's just a given almost at this point.
I think assuming other people's unconscious is kind of wrong. I think it's inevitable, though. I mean, you're saying you think assuming it out loud is wrong because it's like we've all had the experience of like thinking somebody was gay or thinking somebody was sad or thinking somebody what didn't really like their new boyfriend or whatever. So maybe you're saying you think confronting the person with the information that you're thinking that is wrong, or you're saying actually thinking about what other people's like secret thoughts are, is wrong. We'll see what the science change says.
I
Okay.
reckon that. Sorry, can I say one more thing about that?
Fuck.
Because you brought up that stream he did. It was atrocious. It was really bad. But all the comments and Destiny I think played into this too, where he's like,
You're a real
you
motor
know,
mouth, aren't you?
I am. I'm a
All
real
right.
motor mouth.
Go
I
ahead.
got a lot to say to you. They equivocate between you and Dr. K a lot. There's this sentiment that goes around where it's like because you're psychoanalyzing Reckful, what you're doing is the same. So how can you criticize Dr. K? That drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, I'm
Like
not
you
doing
un
it to him, and he's dead.
Exactly.
He's fucking
Exactly.
dead. So it's not
And you're
really
not
like he's
claiming to
gonna.
be a
And
psychiatrist.
I'm not his psychiatrist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not his psychiatrist. I'm not trying to treat him. He's dead. He can't hear me. He's never gonna say this.
Yeah, I know.
This
And
is
you
why
get
you
gaslit
don't see me
so hard on that.
psychoanalyzing. Even people who I'm very mad at, I don't. You don't see me. The only person I've ever done it with is probably Steven Crowder, and I shouldn't do that. And I'm going to stop doing it. I know I need to stop doing it. I'm addicted to it. It's not good. I shouldn't do it. But anyway, other than that, like you don't see me psychoanalyzing Erudite. Even when I'm really mad, I don't psychoanalyze her. I don't psychoanalyze Destiny. Not really. Like also, if he asks me what I think of him, like that, I'll answer. But I ain't just jumping in and saying, "Here's what I think." Man, I could talk about what I think of Destiny's psychology for 10 hours uninterrupted, without
Look,
repeating
I don't
myself
believe you that you
once.
don't do it.
I
I
think
think
about
your
it all the
point,
time,
yeah, I
all
don't
the
agree with you,
time.
Max, that you don't psychoanalyze these people. I think you do. But
Fuck
I
you.
think like you're right though. We all do it all the
No, I
time.
don't think I.
You know.
When have I psychoanalyzed Erudite?
Oh, sorry. Like I may be using the term a bit more loosely. When I talk about stuff like she's doing it to protect her own career, there's like a hidden motive there. That's kind of what
Okay,
I'm
but that's
talking about.
different. That's no. I'm talking. I think we're talking about me saying Reckful is a people pleaser after watching
Oh
what
yeah,
two
okay.
2 minutes of him talking. I'm saying I don't think I'm not going to label Erudite as this is the kind of person you are. This is how you interact with people and blah blah blah. Yes, I do point out what I think are people's like hidden motives for things, but I'm not going to like pigeonhole her into a whole thing. You know what? I kind of psychoanalyzed Brittany Simon.
hmm
I
You
did do
did,
that.
but she legit. You were both talking
She
about
was
your
asking for
childhoods
it.
and stuff. Oh, and speaking of which,
She
like
was
in that
asking for it.
conversation, yeah, she was. Well, and people were like, again, equivocating, going, "Oh, you're being Dr. K in this," but it was a mutual conversation. You were sharing about your own childhood. You were
That's
sharing
true.
about like you
That's
were not
true.
being a
Okay, but the
psychiatrist.
stuff
Like
you're right. The stuff I said about how I don't psychoanalyze people is not that true.
bullshit.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think as long as you like stay mutual with people, you're not being Dr. K and you're not a psychiatrist. There's so many differences that people just seem to become blind to. It's infuriating. I can understand why you feel really gaslit by a lot of people in that
They were
area.
asking for it.
I
They were all asking for it.
gotta go. I'll leave it on that note. All
You
right.
have to go. Fuck you. This
I
is
gotta
my show. Oh, we're
go.
gonna have to go to the next caller now. Thank you so much for calling in.
Go, dude.
I
I want
appreciate
to
it.
call back in another time though. It's just I'm in Australia. My time's
I
reversed.
understand. I
You
understand.
know,
Well,
I
I'll
got a lot
talk
of
to
shit I
you.
gotta
We'll talk
do.
to you next time.
I would love to. Thanks so much, Max.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.